You know that feeling when you get a raise? Genuinely feel like you're finally getting ahead, and then somehow, 3 months later, you have nothing extra to show for it. Your rent got a little nicer, your car payment crept up, dinners out got fancier, and the money just disappeared. Meanwhile, your 401k has $18,000 in it, which sounds like a lot until you realize Fidelity says you should have your full annual salary saved by the time you hit 30. That's when it hits you. Is this decade already slipping away? Because here's the uncomfortable reality. The financial moves you make in your 30s don't just shape the next 10 years. They compound. They echo. They can either set you up for a retirement where money isn't something you think about anymore, or they can leave you grinding well into your 60s, wondering where it all went. This video is exactly what it sounds like. The money milestones that actually matter in your 30s, and the math behind why they matter so much more now than any other time in your life. My name is Seb, and I'm slightly obsessed with the psychology of why smart, hardworking people still end up financially stuck. Don't forget to subscribe if you find this video helpful. Before we dive in, let's get one thing straight. This isn't a video designed to make you feel bad about where you are right now. Most people in their 30s are carrying around $132,000 in total consumer debt. Credit cards, car loans, student loans, the whole pile. The average millennial has nearly $40,000 in student debt alone. So if you feel behind, you're not broken. You're just facing a system that made getting started expensive. But here's what most people don't realize. Your 30s are still early enough that compound interest is wildly in your favor. The question is whether you're actually using that advantage. Let's talk about how. Milestone 1. Stop leaving free money on the table. Let's start with the one that makes financial advisors want to pull their hair out. Because it's so simple and so many people still ignore it. If your employer offers a 401k match and you are not contributing enough to get the full match, you are literally rejecting free money. The average employer match is about 4.7% of your salary. On a $65,000 income, that's $3,055 a year your employer will add. But only if you show up with your own contributions first. Here's the thing. That $3,055 per year, invested from age 30 to 65 at a 7% return, grows to roughly $440,000. Not contributing enough to capture it means you're walking away from almost $500,000 in retirement. That's not a metaphor, that's the math. Think about it this way. Your employer match is the only guaranteed 50% to 100% instant return available to you. There's no stock, no investment, no side hustle that hands you an immediate 100% return before the market even opens. And yet, according to Vanguard's data, 35% of workers offered a 401k don't participate at all. This is where most people completely mess this up. They wait until they feel ready or stable. But financial stability doesn't come before saving. It comes because of it. Milestone 2, emergency fund that can actually handle an emergency. Here's where it gets interesting. The standard advice is 3 to 6 months of expenses. Fine. But your 30s are different from your 20s in one specific way. You have more to lose. A car breakdown, a medical bill, a job gap. These hit harder when you have a mortgage, a kid, or aging parents in the picture. According to Bankrate's December 2024 research, 59% of Americans can't cover an unexpected $1,000 expense from savings. $1,000. And 27% have nothing saved at all for emergencies. So when life throws something at them, and it always does, they reach for the credit card, which charges 22% interest, which digs the hole deeper. Here's what nobody talks about. An emergency fund isn't just a safety net. It's a negotiating tool. It's the reason you can walk away from a bad job instead of staying trapped. It's how you avoid making a panicked, expensive decision when something goes sideways. The goal in your 30s isn't 3 months. Aim for 6. If your income is variable or you're self-employed, push toward 9. Keep it in a high-yield savings account, earning somewhere around 4.5%. Not a regular checking account earning basically nothing. Your emergency fund should be boring, accessible, and growing quietly in the background. Milestone 3. Close the retirement gap before it gets expensive. Let me show you exactly how this works, because the numbers will either terrify you or motivate you, and either one is useful. Fidelity's guideline: 1 times your salary saved by age 30, 2 times by 35, 3 times by 40. The median American under 35, they have $18,880. The median 35 to 44-year-old, $45,000. Those numbers are not even close to the benchmarks. But here's the thing that people don't fully internalize. It's not just about the gap itself. It's about what closing it later actually costs you. Someone who invests $500 a month starting at 25 ends up with roughly $1.31 million at 65 at a 7% return. Start that same investment at 35 instead, you end up with $609,850. That's a $700,000 difference for waiting just 10 years. And to make up that difference by starting later, you'd need to nearly double your monthly contribution to $1,076. Same destination, way more effort. That's temporal discounting in action, the psychological tendency to undervalue future rewards. Your brain is literally wired to prioritize right now over 30 years from now. Understanding this bias is the first step to working around it. The practical fix is boring but effective. Automate your contributions so they increase by 1% every time you get a raise. You'll never miss money that gets redirected before you see it. Fidelity's own data shows that people who use automatic escalation consistently hit higher savings rates than those who rely on willpower alone. Willpower is finite. Automation is forever. Milestone 4. Beat lifestyle inflation before it beats you. This is the silent killer of wealth in your 30s, and almost nobody talks about it honestly. Bureau of Labor Statistics data shows average annual spending jumps 22.5% from the 25 to 34 age bracket to the 35 to 44 bracket. Income goes up, spending rises to match it, and the savings rate stays flat. Economists call it the hedonic treadmill, the idea that as your standard of living rises, you simply adjust to it and feel no better off than before. Research backs this up. A landmark study tracked lottery winners and found they were not significantly happier than non-winners after adapting to their new wealth. More money, same baseline. Empower's 2025 found that 57% of people have made financial decisions after seeing others' lifestyles on social media, and 40% of millennials have gone into debt trying to keep pace with friends. That's not a budgeting problem. That's a psychology problem. Here's the uncomfortable reality. Lifestyle inflation feels like progress. A nicer apartment feels like you're finally living the life you worked for. But every dollar you commit to a higher fixed monthly expense is a dollar that can never compound. The antidote isn't deprivation. It's a simple rule. Every time your income goes up, automatically redirect at least 50% of the increase to savings or investments before you have a chance to spend it. You're allowed to enjoy the other 50%, is how you get richer and feel it at the same time. Milestone 5. Get the boring protection stuff done. I know this isn't exciting, but this is what nobody talks about, so let's get into it. Life insurance. 52% of millennials have none. Zero. A $500,000 20-year term policy for a healthy 30-year-old costs roughly $28 to $30 a month. That's less than most streaming subscriptions combined. LIMRA's research found that young adults overestimate the cost of life insurance by 10 to 12 times the actual price. If you have a partner, dependents, or anyone who relies on your income, you need this. Full stop. Estate planning. Only 24% of American adults have a will. Among parents with minor children, 64% have nothing in place. If something happens to you and you have kids, a court decides who raises them, not you. A basic will and power of attorney can be set up for a few $100s. It's one of the most loving things you can do for the people you care about. And most people put it off indefinitely because it feels morbid. It's not morbid. It's responsible. You're not behind because you're bad with money. You're behind because nobody handed you a roadmap. And the financial industry has a vested interest in keeping things confusing. Now you have the map. What you do with it is up to you. Subscribe for more videos like this.